Hi, welcome to my video on the derivative of trig functions as tan, cot, secant, and cosecant. And I waited to do this after I had the quotient rule done for derivatives. Use the quotient rule, find d dx of tan x. Well, d dx of tan x, tan is sine x over cosine x, and we'll treat sine x as f and that's a g, and this is a quotient rule, so it's f prime g minus f g prime all over g squared. So the derivative is sine x, derivative of sine x times g, which is cos x, subtract sine x times the derivative of cos x all over cos x squared. So the derivative of sine x is cos x times cos x, sine x, and the derivative of cos x is negative sine x all over, and the cos of x squared is the same as cos squared x. So cos x times cos x is cos squared x. Negative times negative is positive, so that's sine x times sine x is sine squared x. And that's cos squared x. So cos squared x plus sine squared x is 1. So cos squared x plus sine squared x is 1. So 1 over cos squared is secant squared. So the derivative of tan is secant squared. Derivative of tan. So if you have tan x and you do the derivative of tan x is secant squared x. Okay, let's use the quotient rule to find the derivative of cot x. And d dx cot x is cos x over sine x, because it's a reciprocal of tan is sine over cos, so cot is cos over sine. That's f over g. And again, it's the quotient rule. It's f prime g minus f g prime over g squared. So that's cos x derivative times sine x, which is the g, minus cos x times derivative of g, which is sine x. And that's the sine of x squared. Derivative of cos x is a negative sine x times sine x, and we got cos x. Derivative of sine x is cos x all over sine squared x, and that's sine times sine is negative sine squared x, and as a negative, cos times cos is cos squared x all over sine squared. And so that's, notice it's both negative, so I'm going to take the negative out and I'll get sine squared x plus cos squared x all over sine squared x. So sine squared plus cos squared is 1. It's the identity, fundamental identity in trig. And 1 over sine squared is cosecant squared, so there's a negative cosecant squared. And again, the cot x, the derivative, is negative cosecant squared of x. So we did tan, cot. Now let's do the derivative of secant. So d dx, and secant is the reciprocal of cos. And again, that's the f and that's the g, so it's f prime times g minus f times g prime all over g squared. So that gives us 1 derivative of 1 times cos x minus 1 times the cos of x derivative all over cos of x squared. So derivative of 1 is 0, so 0 cos x. And derivative of cos is negative sine x all over cos squared x. So that's a 0. So 0. So that's a negative and negative positive. So it's a sine x all over cos squared x. And so that's sine x over cos x times 1 over cos x. So that's tan x over cos x. Sorry, sine x over cos x is tan x. And 1 over cos is secant. So the derivative of secant x is tan x secant x. And again, if you memorize these, it makes the derivatives much easier and faster to do. Use the quotient rule to find d dx on cosecant. So d dx on cosecant, that begins with a c, so it's the reciprocal of sine x. That's f and that's g. Again, quotient rule, f prime times g minus f times g prime all over g squared. So that gives us derivative of 1 times sine x minus 1 times derivative of sine x all over sine x being squared. And the derivative of 1 is 0, so 0 sine x. And the derivative of sine is cos x all over sine squared x. So 0 times sine is 0, so that's a negative cos x over sine squared x. So that's the same as the negative of cos x over sine x times 1 over sine x. Notice that sine x times sine x is sine squared. So that's negative cot x, and 1 over sine is cosecant. So you got the derivative of cosecant x is negative cot x cosecant x. And we have done the 4 derivatives now. The derivative of tan, cot, secant, and cosecant. So let's do a review. State the derivative of each trig function. So the derivative of each trig function, we should know the derivative of sine is cos x. The derivative of cos x is negative sine x. The derivative of tan x, the derivative of tan x is secant squared x. Derivative of cot x is negative cosecant squared x. And the derivative of secant is tan x times secant x. And the derivative of cosecant is negative cot x cosecant x. And that's the 5 trig functions that I developed that I'm going to use with the trig. And again, more videos will come on the quotient rule, product rule, etc., etc. And again, if you like my video, click the like button, click the subscribe button, visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. That's the content on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained. Just one word. Thank you for viewing my video. Hope the video helped you. Bye-bye.